Hi everyone, we are recording a video here for my Huntress build. I have a lot of people here on my live stream asking me about my setup, and they have issues completing the campaign or even progressing at all. A lot of people seem very upset with the patch in general, but we have been blasting. So I am currently level 55 here. I'm just about to enter Act 6. And I want to show you my setup, which has been working really great for me. I started this character on hardcore SSF, now I'm softcore SSF, unluckily. But I also didn't really expect the most here out of a hardcore Hunters playthrough, being like a very squishy class and all. But yeah, the setup that I'm playing here is actually really cool. This is mostly a spear-based setup, like a throwing-based setup, I would say. So I focus on the explosive spear and on the storm lance, it's called. And this is kind of like a fire and lightning combo that I'm playing here. So I usually use them in tandem, like 1 and 1, and then repeat, because the timers of the detonations kind of like work out that way. And then I also have Spear Field, which is a pretty good tool to sometimes blast down bosses or like just kind of approaching enemies. And it also helps out with, for example, giving us rage buff, slowing enemies, and just kind of overall makes us a lot more comfy. I also have a companion that I can see here, like a little beast following me around, which currently does like next to nothing, but I do hope to eventually find something that gives me like a big aura, some kind of, you know, party buff. There's like a temporal bubble, a bunch of stuff like that, but I haven't been able to get this. But it does seem quite promising as kind of like a support tool. I don't really think it will go to somewhere like in a range of doing damage, unless you like really invest into minions or so, but this is not the goal of this build. So yeah, so far so good, I gotta say. And what you see here right now is also with a very outdated weapon. I still have a weapon from Act 2 equipped right now, and it looks like Act 2, but it's actually Act 5. So yeah, the damage is fine. I can also maybe show a boss or so, which is also kind of going okay at this point. So here's, for example, a clip from the Colossus. So this is like my damage output on a boss. With this setup here. So yeah, I'm planning to continue this into the late game, and we'll see what happens, unless I really want to like pivot to something else. But this is like a really cool ranged elemental playstyle, and might also be able to be enhanced with like some uniques that maybe were introduced or that I haven't really thought about just yet. As I said, I'm kind of progressing and building this as I go, so you can also expect an updated version of this later down the line. But for now, I do have a planner that I just made here. This is a work in progress. Here on the Maxwell community section, you can find this link also in the description. And I have kind of like just made some, you know, basic items here and also the skills that I'm using. So you can see the supports here. I have them kind of in order of importance. And you can also like swap a few things around, especially once you unlock the higher level supports, tier 2 and tier 3. There is a bunch of stuff that kind of like becomes available here, where I can like mix and match a little bit. Like, you know, there's a lot of different damage supports that I can either put on this or on that skill, and it doesn't really matter. Like, for example, you know, Retreat and Primal Armament both give you like 25% more damage, and it's kind of the same with Rising Tempest, which gives you like 24% more, and you know, that kind of really doesn't matter. One good thing here that I noticed at the start was Scatter Shot on Stormlance. This is something you really want to get early. And Expedite on the Explosive Spear, so this allows you kind of just spam it a lot more instead of waiting for a detonation time for 2.5 seconds. It's only 1.5 seconds. So this like makes like a real combo from really early on. This is a level 5 gem, this is a level 1 gem, so you can get this from right to start. And then once you have those two skills, you're kind of just like blasting through. So level 14 is when you can get Stormlance. And before that, yeah, like I did a little bit of the starter skill, the Whirling Slash or whatever it's called, plus the Explosive Spear, and then kind of just like not really any more auto attacks or like melee attacks. And people also ask me about the parrying or like using other shields. I have not actually used any parrying on this setup. I tried a little bit briefly, but then I kind of just decided I don't want to do the frenzy charge stuff. I don't want to do the parry stuff. I don't even run a buckler right now because I found this, and it's totally fine because both the Explosive Spear and the Stormlance, while being able to benefit from frenzy charges, don't really care that much about it in my opinion. So I kind of just spam them away, and right now I don't actually have intentions to really go for frenzy charges, but maybe further in the endgame I might try something of that. So this is kind of nice because it's just a very comfy build, it just works. You don't have to rely on this blocking and then getting stunned sometimes or something like that. And this has been really cool. I'm also experimenting with some other stuff like Glacial Lance and Barrage or so, but I'm not really sure if we're going to stick to that. Another thing that comes online later is Thunderous Leap, which is kind of nice. You can just have like Leap Slam from the mace category of skills. This is just a spear version, so you can just leap around, leap over cliffs and so on. I don't really use it much, but it speeds us up. And another thing is also that the disengage is like a very good mobility tool. So you can see this here. I'm going to try to find like a clip where I'm just kind of going around a little bit. But basically you can just leap backwards all the time like this here. So you just like walk in one direction and then you disengage in the others. You don't need any enemies or to be in combat or anything like that. And with a lot of attack speed, this actually goes really fast. And you have pretty comparable mobility to something like shield charging around or so, I think, which is also another nice thing. Now let's talk about the Ascendancy real quick. I am playing an Amazon, which I think is just kind of the better choice for this right now. So the first points I take here are the crits, which are not really that great, I think, at this point, but they will probably scale later, and maybe I'll also invest more into like the crit nodes, which currently I'm not doing here. And in the second Ascendancy, we get to Penetrate, and that is actually the big one here. So here you get accuracy, damage scaling from your weapon. So if you have a weapon that has a lot of accuracy, you can get a lot of extra damage. And once I had this, I instantly got like 20% more DPS or something from this 60 accuracy I have on my weapon here right now. And you can get a lot more. You can get 500, 600 or something like that. And you can get runes as well. So I have a vision rune here. These vision runes give accuracy, and this also transforms into physical damage. And this is actually pretty important. So you want to go for these once you have that after Act 3. So that's very good. Then the third Ascendancy eventually will be the weaknesses here, and then the last one, I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's also like down the line. I'm planning to go for the infusions, but I might also just go for the kill or maybe one of the defensive ones here, so we'll see. And for the tree here, I do have the step-by-step, so you can go through this here to kind of see this. This is not like, you know, up to level 100, this is like, I don't know, level 60 something or so, but you kind of get the idea. And we kind of path through like some of the Huntress stuff here. We pick up a lot of like projectile damage, attack damage, elemental damage for the most part. Here's a bit of pen, here's like projectile stuff, here's like some ailment stuff, and then we just kind of path down here. The spear nodes are very strong. I'm probably gonna pick this here as well. So you want to get this relatively soon. This is like, I don't know, somewhere in like level 20s to 30 or so. You have like kind of this entire part here. And afterwards we path up here to the monk. And the idea is that later on, I'm going for the evasion energy shield hybrid here. So I want to do this in order to kind of like give this build a bit of a semblance of tankiness. This worked pretty well for me last league with a ranger and with my monk. I did also ES evasion, and we're kind of like right here. So we can pick all these nodes at some point. We can pick all these nodes at some point, and this here, and this here, and then, you know, getting some evasion energy shield hybrid bases, especially like a chest piece, maybe not use this Dane, and you can actually get like maybe a few thousand ES or something on top of like 2-3k life or so. So that's kind of the long-term plan, at least, that I'm pursuing right now. But yeah, for now, this is what I got here. You can check this build out. As I mentioned, I will link this down in the description. You can find it in the community planners. And I'm gonna keep working on this for now. So I will like probably update some stuff. This is pretty, you know, pretty quickly put together right now, but I have a few notes here that explain a few things, and the quest rewards, the gems here, I can find them all there. So yeah, just want to get this out there real quick for everyone who's struggling with the Huntress. Hope this helps. I had a lot of fun with this so far. This was a blast actually, so I hear from a lot of people that are not really enjoying Huntress. I kind of feel completely the opposite. It's supposed to be cool so far, and maybe it is because of the build, but you might want to try this. So hope you enjoyed this. Wish you good luck with the Huntress and the league, and see you guys next time.